What is up? This is your Cosmic Homegirl, and I am doing a forecast of the cosmic weather for all of us of every sign for the week that starts September 13th of 2020 and ends September 20th of 2020. So I hope everybody is doing good out there. Hope everybody is safe and healthy and all of that. Just a quick reminder that you guys can still check out my Saturn in Aquarius class that I did on Nadia Shah's website, nadiashah.com. You can still check it out even though the live was recorded a couple weeks ago. It was still a really dope talk that I did with Nadia. So go ahead and check it out. I'll put the links in the description box to where you can do that. You can check out the replay. Synchronicity University is what I am a part of, and I'm so freaking grateful for this opportunity. So shout out to Nadia Shah. Of course, she is like super dope. But there are still other astrologers that have some really dope classes on her Synchronicity University page as well. So make sure you guys go check them out. They're hosting stuff every Wednesday in the month of September, and their replays are available too. So go check it out. Okay, so back to this week. What is cracking? What's going on? So we still have the sun opposing Neptune. We start off the week that way, right? Sun opposing Neptune. This aspect was exact at the end of the previous week, but what is it still bringing to us as it kind of like trickles away and fades off? So pretty much the sun, it is our vitality. It's our vibrance, it's our life force, main life force here to the planet Earth and to us human beings. And if you are other than human too, but you live here, but you're not from here, like me. The sun still does some things for us, okay? So the sun is opposing Neptune. So what this has been doing for us and still is doing as the week begins is it can bring a little bit of haziness to us, like with clarity, because the sun, it brings clarity to things, and then Neptune, it does the opposite. It puts a fog over things to not see things too clearly and to kind of put a disguise over stuff. Neptune rules magic and mystery, and it rules the oceans, it rules fantasy. Picture like mermaids and unicorns and shit like that. That's what Neptune rules. But Neptune is also like movies and music and makeup and anything that takes your mind out there a little bit to other than the norm. Neptune is one of those planets that rules that stuff. Uranus is another one, but Neptune is big time. It rules all that stuff. TV, drawing, art, music, dance, all that stuff is Neptune. So with Neptune in aspect to the sun this week, this is bringing more of that stuff to the forefront. It has us less focused on our practical world and more focused on, it's like this opposition, it is like the sun in Virgo and Pisces, they oppose each other on the zodiac wheel. So this is like the perfect example of fantasy versus reality, and, believing in other than what is in front of you, believing in the unseen and only believing what is seen right in front of you. These two signs definitely rep those things like to the max. So they're opposing each other this week. So you may have an inner conflict of going back and forth between like, is this real or is this not, Is this something that I'm just like dreaming up in my head, or is this something that is reality? Neptune is the planet that does rule the spirit realm as well. And so, like, if you believe in anything other than like life on earth, if you believe in the other side, if you believe in people being in spirit, if you believe in like angels and, anything along those lines, Neptune rules all of that. So the veil between our world and that world is very thin when we have any harsh aspects to Neptune, any hard aspects to Neptune, not just harsh, but like even a conjunction, is positive, but it's a hard hit, you know what I'm saying, of that energy just coming forward. So with anything, activating Neptune in the sky, the veil becomes thin between those two worlds. Neptune also rules dreams too, like your literal dreams that you have at night, and also daydreams. And like if you have a dream of being a musician or being in the movies, that those type of dreams too are all ruled by Neptune. So that stuff has come to the forefront. But we do have like the veil being very thin between us and spirits. So you may have noticed maybe this past week or so, especially around the weekend, maybe you have noticed more synchronicities or angel numbers or things that seem like, yo, this cannot be a coincidence. Like, I swear this is not a coincidence. It's like, so, it's weird, but that something happens and in the timing that it does, but it's meant to, like, stuff like that you may think about more. Another thing that Neptune rules is empathy and feeling other people's emotions. And so a lot of people may have felt like a sense of guilt, or like they need to apologize for stuff, or maybe if you are an empath, if you're very sensitive to other people's emotions, you may have felt other people's feelings, especially over the weekend. I don't like brag about being an empath, because feeling other people's pain is not something to brag about, in my opinion. It hurts. Like, I literally get pains like someone stabbing me in the heart. When I feel someone else's sadness and pain, and I could feel like I want like crying, but like they're not my tears. It's not my cry. It's hard to explain when you like cry because you're an empath and you're crying for someone else. Like maybe it's like pain that they won't allow themselves to express, or they won't allow their own tears to flow. And if you're super connected to them, you feel when they're feeling that type of pain, and you may cry for them. Yo, it's some trippy shit, but let me tell you guys, I don't BS around here, and it is real. It really does happen. That's why another reason why you have to be careful of who you have soul ties with and create. I don't think you create soul ties. People say that, and I'm like, nah. Like, when you have a soul tie to somebody, like, you just do. Your souls have known each other. Get out of here. Your souls have known each other for a long time, over centuries, and come back together again. Like, it's just destined things that we don't really have control over. So you don't create soul ties necessarily, in my opinion, but you do, like, when you interact with people, like especially on an intimate level and stuff, and if you're like extremely empathic, you can absorb some of their energy and things like that, and if you do have a strong soul connection to people, you do have to be careful with those, if you know that you feel their feelings, because when we have aspects like this in the sky, anything activating Neptune in the sky, or even Neptune in your own natal chart, all that stuff comes pouring out. The tears will come pouring out. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just really trippy. Or you'll see them everywhere. Like, not just them, literally, but you will see, like, signs of them. You'll see some symbol or some logo or something that's really associated and tied to that person's identity and personality. You'll see it. Like, if they have a favorite sports team, if they have a favorite drink, you know what I'm saying? Like, you'll see something associated with them everywhere. And yeah, if they're feeling some type of way, you're gonna feel some type of way too, and be like, where is this coming from? Like, I was just this working, or busy doing something, having fun, whatever, and then you just get hit in the chest. It feels like oh, and then you have this overwhelming wave of emotion that's just like, that just makes tears pour out, and you're like, where is this coming from? Sun and Neptune aspect, or when we have maybe Mercury and Neptune, like anything, any of our inner planets, like even the moon, but that happens a couple times a month, so you may or may not notice it, but the moon and Neptune definitely does that. Mercury and Neptune, because Mercury is communication, and Neptune is also communication that is unspoken and telepathic. So when these two make aspects to each other, that stuff happens too. Venus and Neptune possibly can do that as well. Mars and Neptune, not really, unless Mars rules something in your chart. or it gets a little more complicated. But anyway, Neptune definitely tunes in. Neptune, it tunes you into other people, and especially ones that you have some sort of spiritual or soul connection with. Or if you're just, you have feelings for someone, like even if you have family members that you're very closely tied to emotionally, like whoever you're emotionally tied to, like you'll feel their feelings and stuff. So anyway, yeah, but the Sun and Neptune, I've noticed myself and other people like really jamming out to music a lot more. Just, it makes you more in tune with music and singing out loud and not giving a shit who hears you. Like stuff like that happens. And yes, more in tune with art, creativity, like, your dreams. With your imagination is Neptune. So things that you imagine, they can come alive. You can make them come alive and create them into reality with reality driven Virgo. Okay, Virgo is about making things tangible, and Neptune and Pisces with Virgo energy, it makes the intangible tangible. I think intangible is a word, right? Virgos, I know you guys will correct me on that. Okay, but yeah, it makes the impossible possible. So this combination isn't all just like drifting off into outer space, not paying attention. It's you can make some dope stuff if you're creative with anything. Even if you have a mundane job or something that you do for a living that's mundane, like you can still come up with some really good ideas that you're like, whoa, I don't know where this idea came from, but it's like super dope. So I'm definitely going to put it out there and incorporate it into my work. Like that's definitely this aspect too. Okay, so this aspect is still popping this week, for the first several days. I would say not until the weekend is it going to really count as like faded off. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, Sun and Neptune. Okay, and we have the moon in Leo for a couple of days. It enters on the 13th. So we will have Venus in Leo, moon in Leo. So, and the nodes shift down to 24 degrees. Oof, yo. But anyway, yeah, so the sun is squaring the north and south nodes too. So there could be some really like destined, fated, karmic events that you're just like blown away by, and it can add to like the synchronicities and like you feeling like things are some sort of karmic lesson or a part of your soul's journey, like lessons and stuff this week. The sun squaring the nodes can bring that out, along with the aspect to Neptune. You may want to listen more to, like, if you believe that you have spirit guides, you tap into spirituality, you may want to be paying more attention to any type of messages you get this week, especially. It's a very, very spiritual week with the sun squaring the nodes and the sun opposing Neptune. Because the sun also rules your ego and the conscious expression of yourself. So you may have some things that come to you about how you do just that, consciously express yourself. But yeah, so we have the moon in Leo along with Venus, on the 14th and into the 15th. So moon in Leo days, you guys already know, it's all about strutting. Okay, it's all about pretending like you're on the red carpet, looking as such. It is about your hair. It's about things that are shimmery, things that are gold and sparkly, drawing attention to yourself. Drama. Oh my gosh, the drama of it all when the moon is in Leo. Oh my gosh, it's just exaggerated. So it's like the old like soap operas and like novellas and stuff, to where they're just like so dramatic, and every scene has that dramatic music, like dun dun dun, that like zooms in when their eyeballs all googling, or like the woman puts her hand to her forehead and it's just like, oh, I just cannot, and like just falls to the ground crying, like stuff like that. That's stuff that the moon in Leo can bring out. Especially if you know Leos or you're a Leo yourself, you're gonna really be on that tip. Okay. Moon and Leo days are really good for feeling more confident within yourself with anything that you do, not just with your looks. And also childlike fun is associated with Leo. If you have children, you may be more playful with them. Even if you don't, the inner child, the big kid that's within yourself is going to come through and want to play as well. So pretty dope energy, Moon and Leo days. I love Moon and Leo days, except for dealing with Leo placement people that are close to me, because they can just do the absolute most, be super extra, and it's so unnecessary. Like, yo, just calm down, man. Oh my God. Just stop with the drama. Okay. So the moon in Leo, and then, yeah, on the 15th, we still have the moon in Leo. Now, we will also have, starting real early on the 15th, we will have the Venus and Uranus will be squaring each other. Dun, dun, dun. Now that's some drama too. Okay, that's some drama for that ass right there. Okay, so we will have the whole day of the 15th, Venus and Uranus squaring each other. Now this is an aspect that has been building up for a few days too, but it's exact on the 15th. What can this bring? Oh my gosh. Okay, well, first of all, so Venus, what does she rule? She rules love, money, beauty, vanity, self-worth, value, the value of material things, our material world, the things that we buy, things we enjoy, things we eat, drink, things that we shop for, we wear. Venus rules all of the stuff in our material world that we enjoy, right? She rules the five senses. Did I mention love? She rules love and attraction. Yes, she does. So Venus square to Uranus. So what does this planet rule? Uranus rules like anything that's weird, different, out of the ordinary, unexpected. It's a surprise. It rules literal lightning, physical lightning. So lightning bolts shooting down on your world, like just surprising you with stuff. It rules anything that's like unique and authentically true to yourself, that's like not what other people would expect, or that's not the norm. It's outside the box thinking and doing and dressing and all of that. So with Venus square to Uranus, what can that bring? Some surprises when it comes to Venusian things. Okay, it can bring some surprises in love. You may have a surprise of somebody hitting on you or something that you're like, what the hell, where'd you come from? Or meet somebody and it seems like they just got struck down in your world from a lightning bolt in the sky out of the blue, and you're like, whoa. It could be a sudden attraction to someone. You know what, last year when Venus was squaring Uranus, this dude popped up. Actually, whenever there's a Venus Uranus aspect in the last year, like 3 different times, this same dude popped up on my social media messaging me like, hey. And I mean, I don't do social media dating and online and apps and all that stuff. Like, it's not my jam at all. But this is like somebody that I kind of have seen around, so I was just like, oh, hey, what's up? We have mutual friends. So I was willing to at least acknowledge the guy. So, but yeah, it's like he would pop up and message me all random, like kind of hitting on me. But I'm like, whoa, where's this coming from? And then he would disappear. It's so Uranian. Like, that's what happens with Uranian encounters with people. You meet them and it's like, whoa, lightning strikes, and things are exciting and new and different, and then all of a sudden, like, another strike of lightning, then poof, they're gone, and you're like, what the man, where'd you go, what happened? So stuff like that can happen. If you meet somebody this week and it's like, whoa, there's a sudden attraction, I'm not going to say there's gloom and doom, like, oh, it's bound to end, honey. Okay, they're just going to disappear. But just be aware that that's a common theme with Venus and Uranus. It's not guaranteed 100% that that's going to be the case. Sometimes people meet someone during this time and it's like, whoa, and then that's how you meet the one, or somebody that you get married to, or whatever, a long-term partner with a transit like this. It's like they came from nowhere and you're like, wow, where have you been all my life? So that can happen, but also you can have some sudden money that pops up out of nowhere, or maybe a sudden loss of money or material things. So just be cautiously aware of that. And if it does happen, just know that that's the transit that's bringing it, and like everything else, this too shall pass. Okay, it's not something that's going to continue to happen to you like the rest of the year or anything. This is a very short-term transit. It's going to be still popping like throughout the rest of the week, but yeah, on the 15th it is hot, man. Okay. Also, since Venus rules beauty and style and fashion and everything, this is a week to where people may be suddenly like, I just suddenly want to get a piercing or a tattoo. That's very common because Uranus is one of the ruling planets of piercings and tattoos, because you're turning your body, your regular schmegular body, into something different and out of the ordinary. Like, you're not born with a freaking dragon on you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like a dragon on your back, okay? You're not born with anything that's tattooed on you. You're not born with it. Piercing, you don't come out of your mama's womb with some big old hoops, okay? Like, you just don't. So you're altering your body in a different way that's quote unquote not normal. So that's why this planet does rule tattoos. It's one of the planets that rules it. And then Venus is beauty and art as well. So when we have an aspect between these two planets, people do suddenly want to get a random tattoo or a random piercing. Or you may just feel like dressing out of the ordinary too, wearing some weird stuff. Me personally, this aspect is building up and popping. And during that time, I agreed to get painted green as an alien chick for one of my homegirls that makes music, to be in her music video as an alien, like rolling on the ground with a fake toy gun. You know what I'm saying? It was, oh my gosh, that's so Uranian. It's so different and weird. And plus, aliens and outer space is ruled by this planet too. So aliens combined with Venusian, like, beauty and fashion and stuff, hell yeah. And art, yes, definitely perfect time for us to do a video like that. Perfect timing, homegirl. So yeah, anyway, Venus and Uranus is like, you're like, whatever, I wear what I want. Like, you might be sporting something that is out of your normal, like, attire, or if there's a dress code at your job or your school, you might want to rebel against it and be like, man, F these people. I'm gonna just be stunting and sporting in my little booty shorts, or whatever you want to wear, like, guy or girl. You can have the little booty shorts on. You can have crop tops, or maybe you might want to wear your makeup differently or something like that, or dye your hair a different color, that may be against the norm or against a rule, because Uranus is rebellion. So you combine that with fashion. I mean, hello. Like, I know I've been wearing the last few days a lot of my gear that does have like rips and cuts in it and chains attached to it and stuff like that, because I'm like that anyway with Uranus in my first house, which rules your appearance. But whenever there's an aspect like this in the sky, I'm like super extra like that. Like, I want to dress like that every single day, no matter what the rules are. And I will be breaking some dress code rules at work. Like, I don't give a shit, you know. You know what I mean? Gotta rock the fresh gear no matter what. Okay, so everybody will get a taste of that energy this week, and especially on the 15th. Sometimes this aspect can cause sudden breakups with people too. Knock on some motherfucking wood, man, because I don't like to hear about breakups like that, unless somebody's really with like a complete asshole or like a total bitch or something, then who's ungrateful and unappreciative of that person. Oh, well, then so be it, honey. Okay, I think I went through a breakup during I sure did, during a Venus and Uranus transit. I sure did, but that breakup stuck, and it was worth it. Okay, but sometimes there could be a sudden breakup, and then with another strike of lightning, you guys are back together. So sometimes that happens with this aspect too. All right, so that's on the 15th. That is exact. Okay, and then later in the day on the 15th, this is when we have the moon go into Virgo. So the vibe shifts a little bit. We have more Virgo energy. The moon will join the sun in this sign. And what does that mean for us? Lots more earthy energy in the mix. Moon and Virgo days are really good for cleaning. I know Virgos probably hate that shit, right? You guys hate always being associated with OCD and cleanliness and stuff. No, but seriously, like, the energy of Virgo really does represent that cleanliness, purity, and organization in things, and creating systems that help you to manage stuff. So when we have the moon in Virgo in the sky, everybody is like on their Virgoisms. They're over here like wanting to alphabetize stuff and organize and put things in color coordinated order, and demand order in your world. Whether you are working somewhere or you're just at home all the time, you demand order within your world. Okay, so moon and Virgo days, that's why they're associated with cleaning and organization. If you are a worker, even if you work at home. These are days where you're really into your work. Like, it's hard for, I say the Virgo energy is like being in a hamster wheel. It really is. Like, it's a cycles that keep going and going and going and going, and it's hard for you to get out of that hamster wheel. But yes, these days are definitely good for continuous work and just, yeah, having like a really dope work ethic. But also, Moon and Virgo days, people can be like mad hypercritical of themselves and of others. So really try to contain that. Okay, if that's you, if that fits the description of how you're going to be acting, being the grammar police. Oh my gosh, like, please, people. Please, grammar police, we don't need you all the time like that. Jeez. Okay, so yeah, the grammar police, unless you're a teacher and you're grading a student's work, just keep some of that to yourself. Like, it could be annoying. And I'm not saying I'm out here just being a horrible speller and everything. I was a spelling bee champ throughout school, boy. You don't even know. But at the same time, like, always correcting people's grammar and thinking it's a sign of them not having much intelligence, I think that goes too far sometimes, especially when Virgo energy is in the mix, especially on social media. Everybody's on social media now. Everybody communicates on there. So sometimes people just type something really fast and then they send it off, and it may have an error, but it's like not something you can go back and erase all the time. You know what I mean? And it doesn't mean people are stupid. It's just that maybe they just don't care. Maybe I saw that error, but I can't go back and fix something like that I created in my Instagram stories, or maybe this post, who cares? Like, I misspelled something, whatever. Let's just keep life moving. Maybe that's what people do. It doesn't mean that they need somebody to say, excuse me, sir, madam, it's actually spelled blah, 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 blah. Oh, I am so knowledgeable of grammar and you need me to correct you. No, we don't always need that. Okay, now I know what Virgo energy likes to do is also like if somebody has their tag hanging out of their shirt, and I'm a sixth houser, so that's very Virgo, and I'm guilty of this. But I really just want to help. Like, I want to help you look fly, okay? If somebody's tag is hanging out of their shirt and they just, tuck it in real quick, there's nothing wrong with that. Corrections and that, like, to help somebody out, but like, don't go overboard with this stuff, okay? But Moon and Virgo days, people can be really helpful, wanting to help others. Just don't be like an arrogant a-hole about it. That's all I have to say about that. Okay. But the new moon is going to be in the sign of Virgo. So that's building up. So I'll talk about that in a second. But yeah, so the moon is in the sign of Virgo for a couple days. Oops, that's hour, not day. Okay, so the new moon is actually going to be on the 17th of September. Okay. So the new moon is in the wee hours over here in the U.S. Of the 17th of September. Now let's talk about this new moon in Virgo real quick. So everything that Virgo represents, this is just in general. Wherever Virgo is in your natal chart, whatever house that it lands in, that's where you're going to have like something being cleared out in order for something new to begin. So in general, what a new moon in Virgo is going to bring to us, well, it'll help you to create new systems for getting your life together. You know what I'm saying? And also the new moons are they say they're good days for like emptying things out, clearing things away. Virgo loves to do that anyway. So it is a good day to clean your house. I know Virgos are going to hate me saying that. It's so cliche, right? But no, seriously, it's a good day to cleanse your space, cleanse your area. Since this new moon is building up, I already feel that, you guys. I feel even more of an urge than usual to clean up my room and to clear old stuff out and get rid of things, take things to Goodwill. This is a good new moon to do stuff like that. Clean stuff out of your house that's old, take it to like a Goodwill or a donation center or something of some sort, or donate things to people that that really need things. It's a really good new moon to do that because Virgo energy is about service. It's about service to others, and it's opposing Neptune, which is also about service to others and helping the less fortunate, or people who have suffered in some sort of way, people who are in need, and they're out there drowning in the ocean, like, oh, save me, I need a life raft. Virgo energy loves to rescue Pisces energy. Even though they'll roll their eyes and talk some shit about it, they'll still do it, right? So a new moon in Virgo is a really good day to provide service to others in some sort of way, or to, yes, like I said, donate things, to be giving and stuff like that. And cleanse and clear your space. Do the whole sage thing and bleaching and all of that. Like, because it's opposing Neptune, combine your spiritual cleansings with your physical world cleansings. Really good day to do that. Getting rid of people in your life also that are not, I want to say toxic, but everybody says that word so much, it like gets on my nerves. But just like narcissistic and toxic and like, oh my God, I know that stuff exists, you guys, but there's just certain things, words that people throw around so much, and sometimes they're not even in the right circumstances to use that word, but people just love using them because everybody uses them. That's one of those words, okay? But people who are not doing you any good in your life, it's a good time to tune into your intuition, which is Neptune, and figure out who those people are and cut them off. Okay, if necessary, like do something like that. New moon in Virgo. This new moon is also making an aspect to Pluto, to Jupiter, and to Saturn, like a direct aspect to Saturn, because they're both at 25 degrees. So what does this mean? This is all earthy Capricorn energy, which is about being a big boss. Okay, taking control, taking charge of things is Capricorn energy. Excuse me. And the moon is making really good aspects to these planets. So Capricorn rules corporations and business, and Virgo is the service worker of those businesses. So Uranus is in Taurus, not making an aspect to any of these planets by degree per se, but still, we have a grand Earth trine by sign in the sky, and we do have just Earth trines by the sun and the moon themselves. So something involving businesses and corporations, maybe there could be some good news about it, or something to do with government and work, or government and service. Something to do with, if you work for a corporation, something to do with the leaders of that corporation and the people who work there. Maybe there's some sort of good news that they may have for people, some sort of good changes that may come to your job or something like that. But yeah, just really quickly going over the new moon. The new moon also makes a square aspect to the north and south nodes. So, with that being said, yeah, there could be some sort of revelations that are given to you about your direction in life, like where you've already been as a soul, and in this lifetime too, like where you've already been versus where you're supposed to be going, what you're supposed to be doing. So you could receive some sort of, more detailed information, maybe something from the spirit realm, because Neptune is Neptune is an aspect as well, but also from the physical world as well, like some sort of something that's put in front of you to kind of realize something. That's the simplest way I could put it. So yeah, this new moon, it's got hella aspects, you guys. So there could be some big things popping. Okay, so that's on the 17th. And then also on that day, we have the moon shifting into Libra later in the day. And moon in Libra days, moon joining Mercury in Libra. So I don't want to say lots of Libra energy in the air, but yeah, there's a couple Libra things popping, which means what? Libra represents partnership and relationships. People do want to talk more about relationships right now. And some people can be feeling kind of lonely right now if they aren't booed up with somebody, or maybe they just haven't really been interacting with people very much because of the times, because of the Rona and all the quarantines and all that stuff. Some people can really feel lonely during Libra season, because Libra is about one-to-one conversations and partnership. And yeah, Libra's ruled by Venus too. So Venus is the goddess of love. And having somebody to dote on you and you to them, you know what I'm saying? And if you don't have that, I've noticed it with Mercury and Libra, there's people that are like feeling like that, or they're just always talking about their relationship partners, or but when the moon is in Libra too, the moon joins Mercury, so that there's even more of that present, that energy present. It's boo energy. It's boo energy. No, it really is bae energy. Whatever babe, whatever you call your significant others, it's that energy. Okay, so Moon in Libra will bring more feelings of wanting to be with someone out of other people. Just don't use it to be like, oh, I'll just take any old person just so I'm not alone. Libra energy tends to have that syndrome. Like they don't like to be alone, so they always have to attach themselves to somebody or a few somebodies. Libras like to have those back burner bitches. You know what I'm saying? Like I joked about that on my Instagram, because it's absolutely true. That's what my homegirl Apollonia, the astrology lady, she's one of my best friends and she's an astrologer, which everybody should have an astrologer best friend in my opinion, because if you're into this stuff and you can talk to your bestie in this language, it's the best thing in the world, because they really understand you and they won't judge you so much. You know what I'm saying? Because they'll be like, oh, well, you're having a little hoe transit right now. You got like, Venus is in your 12th house, like, so you're kind of creeping out there a little bit, but it's cool. Like, I understand it's your transit that you're having or whatever. You got to progress moon in Sagittarius. So you're trotting and thotting out there, like, hey, that's just your time. It's your time for that. I'm not promoting hoism, but at the same time, do you boo boo, okay? But no, to have an astrologer bestie is like the dopest thing ever, you guys. Everybody needs one, in my opinion. So, you have the least judgmental homies there is. But anyway, she's the one that always says back burner bitches is Libra energy all day. Like if you have somebody like in your life and they have Libra energy, you better believe they have like 10 mofos that are lined up, quote unquote friends that they talk to, that are just ready to pounce, ready for them to be single so they can have their chance, So Libras always have admirers and they're always admiring other people. So yeah, anyway, Libra energy, my point is very associated with being with someone or flirting, and like just relationship energy is all like Libran in nature. But Libra is not just about that. Libra is about fashion and design and getting along with others, making peace with people, being a mediator, stuff like that. Trying to see other people's points of view and see other people's sides to things, is what I like the most about Libra energy. So, Moon in Libra for a couple of days, starting on the 17th. What else is popping? Okay, so we have the Moon in Libra joining Mercury in Libra on the 18th. The other aspects are still pretty much happening. Nothing else too major, you guys. This is covering through the 20th. On September 19th, we do have the moon moving into Scorpio. Ooh. Moon in Scorpio. You know what's so goofy as hell? Is every year when there's a full moon in Scorpio, and I participate like just to be sarcastic and like stupid, but people will blow up the full moon in Scorpio. There's a full moon in Scorpio every year. There's a full moon every sign every year, okay? There's a full moon in Scorpio every year, but people will be like, the full moon in Scorpio, woo, and have like, these pictures with these bats flying and all this stuff, or like, it's such a mysterious full moon. It's like full of shifts and changes. Every full moon is full of shifts and changes, but like people blow it up to be this huge phenomenon. And those who don't really know astrology and like that it's all about repetitive patterns and cycles, they'll be like, oh my god, the full moon in Scorpio, dun dun dun. No, but anyway, I don't know why I just thought of that. It's because I'm a goofball. Forgive me for that. But anyway, no, when the moon transits through Scorpio once a month, we do kind of, we may have some bats flying out of our closet when we open it up. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe not literally, but energetically, that's how we feel. Like, that song, I always feel like somebody's watching me. Yeah, that's kind of the theme song. Because you can be looking around a little googly eyed, like, what's around the corner? What's over here? Who's over there? it is about mystery and the darker side of life with Scorpio energy, indeed. So when the moon is in that sign, yes, we will be feeling that, or be like thinking about stuff like that more. Moon and Scorpio days, people might feel like being a little more low key and not really, dealing with people. Like I always say, Moon and Scorpio days are where you put your black hoodie on and put your headphones on and your sunglasses, and you're just like, leave me alone, and you have like the emo scene hair that's like the bangs across your forehead that you just like, flip to the side with by swinging your hair. I don't know the proper way to describe it, but you guys know what I'm talking about. The emo hair with the bangs, and you just in your headphones with your hoodie on, and like, oh, just don't bother me, leave me alone. I'm so emotional. I'm just going through it right now, and I'm triggered by things. Like, yeah, that's Moon and Scorpio days. We all kind of feel like an emo kid from back in the day. The Pluto and Scorpio generation kids when they were teenagers. Okay, like that's the emo scene right there. But yeah, we all feel like that when the moon's in Scorpio. You may want to watch some documentaries or movies about the darker side of life, anything to do with the dark side of life or mysteries of the world or the occult and stuff like that. But moon and Scorpio days, they really are good for research and investigation too, not just, goth stuff or whatever. It like if you have some information that you're curious about, that you just, Moon and Scorpio days are where your mind will go keep digging and digging and digging and digging until you one time, and I'm sure this was during a Scorpio transit, I was so I was doing I was curious about like a celebrity, like I was like, oh, let me look up their chart, and there was like an incident that happened with them, and I was just like, oh, what happened with this incident? And then it led me to a website. They brought up this, that, and the other. And then it brought up like this police report. And I was like, oh, what happened on the police report? Just all out of curiosity. This is all public stuff, you guys. I wasn't digging through somebody's life. Like, you know what I mean? And then that police report, they didn't properly cross out a lot of their personal information. And I freaked out for that celeb. Like, oh my gosh, I would die like if I knew that my information was just out there like that, especially as a public figure. Yo, that's scary. So Moon and Scorpio days, they can lead you to some hidden information, or they can make you feel like a little creeped out, like, are people, digging into my info, and like be a little paranoid about stuff, or because it's all about privacy. I can go on about Scorpio energy as a Scorpio rising, but Scorpio's energy is about privacy and protection, and of your personal life and your personal info, and you know what I mean. So you could be thinking about stuff like that, your own privacy and protection. But I was just like, oh my gosh, this info is out there for this person. They're lucky I'm not some weirdo crazed fan or somebody that would do anything with this info. Like, I just shut it out. Like, oh my God, like, wow. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would hate to be in a public figure's place like that, and just your life, your personal info is blasted. Like, yo, like my Scorpio energy would just be like, rant. Okay, time to change my identity, get some plastic surgery so nobody recognizes me, get a new identity, and move to a private island. Okay, because I cannot with people just yeah. So anyway, it may make you research and find some things that you do want to see, but it can also make you feel a little bit more like suspicious of other people when the moon's in Scorpio about just regular stuff too. You know what I'm saying? Okay, but moon and Scorpio days are really good for intimacy, really wanting to connect with people on a personal level and like have eye contact. You know what I'm saying? Not just have your eyes darting around everywhere or looking at a device or a screen or something when you talk. No, look me in the freaking eyes when you talk to me. Let's have a conversation about aliens, about the mysteries of life and the world, and stuff like that. When the moon's in Scorpio, that's the vibe. So the moon is in Scorpio pretty much the whole rest of the weekend, starting with on the 19th. And so it's going to continue that vibe, and there's really not many other major aspects pop in. So that is it, you guys, for this forecast. Oh wait, hold up, we have Mercury and Pluto Mercury squaring Pluto. And then the moon is in Scorpio too. So yeah, people can be a little bit more on a paranoid tip, more than usual, or they can be more into the research and investigation tip, you know, with much needed information that you've been, or something you've been curious about. But just don't be a creeper about stuff. That's the only thing. Like, Scorpio energy and Pluto energy can bring out the creeps, no doubt. Oof, I know too much about that, unfortunately, and I'm sure some of you guys out there can too, you know, especially if you have Scorpio placements. We tend to attract the creeps a little more than other signs, unfortunately. And one of these days, I swear, like, some of me and a couple of my homegirls, we have Scorpio and or 8th house placements, and we grew up together, and we have plenty of creeper stories that we wanted to share. We might share during Scorpio season, because yo, like, oh my gosh. Anyway, I'm not gonna get too much into it, but yeah, so we have Mercury square Pluto, so this can have people more suspicious of everyone, and worried about your security and your protection of yourself, your belongings, your home. This can be a good energy for figuring out things and fixing things that have to do with your security, like maybe going out and buying a home security system, or upgrading yours if you already have one. Maybe looking into your insurance, life insurance, health insurance, any car insurance, you know, reviewing that stuff and seeing, is everything in my life secure? And maybe looking into, what's that called, like where you protect your, I used to work in credit, so I should know, but it's been a long time. Life something, to where you you protect your social security number from fraud and stuff like that. Yeah, like looking into making sure you are protected from stuff like that. And also spiritual protection too. Now, Mercury square Pluto is not necessarily a super spiritual aspect, I would call it, but Pluto can deal with like occult knowledge, and of protection too. So maybe with Mercury square Pluto, you might be a little paranoid, and that'll cause you to be like, okay, maybe I need to really do some extra like cleansing of my home spiritually, sage, or you know, some sort of floor wash bath or something. You can find a lot of stuff online, especially on YouTube, on spiritual protection. Or you may want to wear a certain bracelet or necklace or something that has something to do with protection, or protective crystals and gemstones, stuff like that. You'll be concerned with those things a little bit more over the weekend. And what else with Mercury square Pluto? Yeah, just like I said, like researching stuff, but don't be a motherfucking creep, man. Just don't. All right, so that's it, you guys, for this week's forecast for the 13th through the 20th of September. And happy birthday to any Virgos that were born during this week. My one of my kids was born this week and has a birthday. I have a wonderful Virgo sun, Libra rising, Gemini moon child. That Gemini moon, oh my God. I always call him out on his Gemini moonness all the time. I'm like, you need to calm your Gemini moon right now. And he just like gives me this squinty eyed look like, whatever, mom. But yes, he's a Virgo with a Libra rising. So of course he's super handsome. Need to watch out for the little future hoochies of America with that one, boy. But yeah, Virgos are hilarious and entertaining. I love you guys very much. So happy birthday to any other Virgos that were born this week. The last week of Virgo season, you guys, until, you know, we have Venus enter Virgo at the end of the month. Speaking of that, don't forget that I do have a monthly video up here on my channel for the whole month of September, if you want to look ahead at the rest of the month in advance. So, you know, go ahead and peep that too. And if you don't want to wait for the weeklies, that one is there. Okay, so I hope you guys have a good week. Once again, stay safe, stay healthy, and I will see you guys in my next video. All right, peace.